Steven Winsenberg here. We're going to talk about your biggest fears and phobias with Gary Greenberg. He has written a hilarious book called The Pop-Up Book of Phobias, and it's literally what the title says. He has taken different fears that you have, like the fear of snakes, the fear of going to the dentist, the fear of heights, and he's turned it into a giant pop-up book, and I think it's for adults. Hi, Gary. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Am I right that this is supposed to be for adults?
Yes, it is. It is one of the first pop-up books aimed at an adult audience.
Why?
Wow. Why?
Adults don't usually read pop-up books.
I got bills to pay, that's why.
I get it. You want to sell books. So you're a stand-up comic. Why would you do a pop-up book on fears and phobias?
Well, actually, it came. The impetus for the idea came when I was a little kid, like 2 or 3 years old. My parents got me a pop-up book that was designed, I guess, to scare kids. It was sort of a sick idea, but it was like ghosts and goblins and like scary monster pop-up book, and it freaked me out. Actually, to the point where not only was I scared of opening that book, but I wouldn't open any book.
Oh my!
For fear that something would jump out. Because when you're like 2 years old, there's certain ideas that you associate with opening a book, and like a giant bat coming at you is not the norm. So I guess that was the original thought. I mean, I was talking about this with my parents a couple of years ago, and we got to the point, like that book was meant to scare kids and how sick that was. And then I was thinking, how would you design a book that was meant to scare adults? And that the Pop-Up Book of Phobias sort of came from that.
So this is kind of your therapy.
Yes, it is. It's sort of me reworking all of my childhood trauma.
It's hard to describe to people what this is. It is a giant-sized book. This isn't a little book. This is a great big book where you have giant pictures of snakes, of microphones speaking in public, of a spider, even of something as crazy as a toilet, because people don't like unsanitary areas. What is that phobia called when people fear public bathrooms?
Mesophobia.
Mesophobia.
Mesophobia, yeah, or misophobia, as people pronounce it differently.
And that's fear of public bathrooms.
Well, no, it's actually more of a fear of germs in general. But the biggest manifestation of that is basically the fear of the public restroom and having to like scrub everything down.
Yeah, I had a lady, I did a show on peanut butter a week or so ago on my Saturday morning show, and there is an actual fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, you know what? I came across that. On the internet, they have like these giant phobia lists. And when I was doing research for the book, I went through each and every phobia to see if it was a viable candidate, and I came across that one.
I don't know how you'd illustrate it, a mouth wide open, I suppose, but...
Yeah, well, that one was... Some of them are not as easy to illustrate as others, but there was like a fear of a duck wearing pants or something? Like just weird things that you never...
Oh, yeah.
Do you have that one?
No, I don't have that one.
I guess Daffy Duck would really freak people out. He's the only duck I know that's ever worn pants.
I have a fear of lakes, and that's because when I was about 10 or 11, we had a town. I grew up in Fairmont, Minnesota, which is a town of lakes. They have 5 lakes right in the center of town. And I went swimming in one of the lakes, and a turtle bit me. Turtle bit me on the toe. And after that, I would not go back into the lakes. And so now I'm petrified. We had friends who took us out on a boat ride on Lake Saylorville here in the Des Moines area. And I sweat the whole time. I was so nervous about the thing. And I love it, but I just fear it. So
I have that. I think that's a common fear too. It's the fear, like lakes and murky where there's like with seaweed or on your toes, and you can't see because the water's cloudy. That actually is one of my fears too.
So a lot of these fears stem from childhood problems, a nightmare or something that happened like yours. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines because we have 3 copies of the Pop-Up Book of Phobias that we're going to give away, but you have to tell us your biggest fear and phobia, and it can be weird because we have heard weird in the past. Gary was on my Saturday show way back. We had a woman call in and say she had a fear of shower curtains. Yeah. A woman who called in and said she was afraid of tiger lilies, and some of these you have to really explain, but what is your greatest fear? What's your biggest phobia? Gary, what are the most common phobias?
Well, I would say some of the most common ones are claustrophobia is a big one.
Sure.
The fear of being enclosed in a space that you can't get out of. And in the book, that's represented. We have an elevator.
Yes.
And what's great about that one is the page only opens halfway. So you're in a cramped elevator, and you can't even get the page open.
A lot of people are really nervous when they get in elevators. They start to sweat.
Yeah, and you're just like shoulder to shoulder with everybody else.
I heard the number one fear is public speaking.
Public speaking is a huge one, yeah.
And I can't figure out why. Maybe people, when they were in elementary school, the only thing I can figure out is you had to get up to read, and people started laughing at you, and your pals started ribbing you, saying, oh, you blew it, you didn't say that word right. And then you just shut down. You don't want to be in front of people.
Yeah, it's definitely like the fear of embarrassment.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's more the fear of embarrassment than the fear of public speaking.
Yeah. I'm sure that has something to do with it, just because everybody has that. I mean, I'm a stand-up comic. I perform like 3 or 4 nights a week, and I still get a little nervous.
Really?
Right before I go up.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you can be good nervous. That pumps up your energy, but then there's also the bad nervous where you fear it so much you just shut down.
Yeah, that actually sort of differentiate fear and phobia. Because people have. There's a healthy fear of heights. Like if you're on a cliff, it's nice to have a little bit of fear so that you won't be reckless and pitch over.
That's a good point.
But then when you're so crazy about that, you actually won't go on the cliff, and you have to stay on level surfaces. That's when it becomes a phobia.
Let's get to the phone lines. What's your biggest fear or phobia? Thomas, you're up first this half hour, and tell us about your fear, Thomas.
Well, I have a fear of wasps. Probably primarily wasps, although bees too. If I can see a wasp, I'm not as afraid of it. But I think probably the thing, if I think it's a wasp, or if I think it's in the area where I can't see it, all of a sudden it appears behind my head or whatever, I hear the noise, I get chills up my spine. I'll jump off, I'll fall over things, I'll run away, I'll run through my bushes, my flowers.
Really? A big macho guy like you?
Now, when
I got stung and just below my eye one time as a kid, and I suppose that has some relation to all what it is.
Now, when you said wasp, I thought you meant white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and I actually have a fear of that. Somebody coming with a gin and tonic over to me wearing golf shorts.
Thanks, Thomas, for sharing that. And Jan is next. Hi, Jan.
Yes, hello. My biggest fear is bats. I'm a retired teacher. My first year of teaching, I taught in an old building with no screens on the windows. I had a little table behind my desk with a little small bookshelf. Someone came in and asked me for a copy of a paper. I turned around and was talking to them, but at the same time reached underneath this little bookshelf where I kept my stack of papers and put my hand right on a furry little bat.
No!
And I can still feel it to this day.
No. Oh, that is bad.
Didn't get bitten or anything.
I would have freaked out, Jan.
We promptly marched all the children across to the library.
Did you call the bat squad to get it out?
Called the custodian, yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Jan, for sharing that. Let's go to Dina. Hi, Dina. How are you today? And what's your biggest fear, Dina?
Worms, night crawlers.
What in the world are you afraid of night crawlers for?
When I was a little child, some neighborhood boys held me down and shoved a bunch of squished up night crawlers inside my ears and up my nose. And ever since then, terrified of them.
No.
That is just
that's terrible.
One of those childhood things.
Now, have you ever seen those kids since then?
No, I don't think so.
I think you need to get back at them.
For sure.
Thanks, Dina. Tish is with us now on WHO. Hi, Tish.
Oh, hi.
What's your fear?
My biggest fear is going into a motel and wondering if there's somebody under the bed.
Oh, really?
When we were kids, they scared us. Somebody was playing a joke on us, and ever since then, I get a fear of going into those hotels or motels.
So do you have to have somebody go in ahead of you to check it out? Wow.
I actually once went into a motel room, and they gave me the key, and I went to the room. I opened the door, and there's a big naked guy sleeping on top of the cover.
You're not serious.
That's what I mean.
Gary, you're not real, are you, Gary?
What's that?
Is that real?
That really happened to me.
Truth.
Yes, yeah.
That's bizarre.
Isn't that weird?
Gary, that had to be in New York. That couldn't have been anywhere in the Midwest.
You never know. And I thought maybe they doubled you up. I thought it was a roommate or something.
Thanks, Tish. That's a great story. Pat is with us now.
Hi.
What's your big fear?
Well, I have to go outside and across the street to open the mailbox and get my mail, and I can't do it. My husband has to always do it, because when I was a kid, I opened up an outdoor, out in the country, mailbox and reached in to get my grandparents' mail, and here was the snake. I pulled right out this small little snake, came right out on top of the bunch of mail, and got on my arm, and from that day on, I cannot I don't have a mailbox on my house anymore. It's across the street. I have this fear. I cannot open a mailbox. Maybe some people might be lucky, though.
Yeah, it's a fear
I don't go around walking around opening mailboxes.
So, Pat, what it is a fear of snakes, but then the snake was in the mailbox,
right.
So now you're afraid of the mailbox.
Right. I can hardly open a mailbox without thinking about that.
I'm actually afraid of the mailbox, but it's because of the bills.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Thanks, Pat. Gary, I can tell you're a stand-up comic. You know that? You just have a line for everything. That's a lot of fun. Cecilia is with us on WHO Radio. Hi, Cecilia.
Hi.
What's your fear?
Well, actually, it's my daughter's. She's not afraid of snakes or spiders or anything. She's petrified of butterflies.
Oh, come on.
No, when she was real little, a bunch of butterflies started chasing her, and she was like 2. And she started running. She was looking behind her and ran smack into the side of a van. It wasn't moving. It was in a driveway.
Oh.
But to this day, she can't hardly even look at a picture of a butterfly.
So she associates that with it. This is very deep psychologically, Cecilia.
Now, could she get into a van?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so vans are okay.
Vans are okay, but butterflies, it's funny because she's not afraid of spiders or snakes. She can pick them up and everything.
That's great. And, Gary, this has been quite a success, hasn't it, with some of the adults? We joke about having a pop-up book be for kids and not for adults, and yet adults seem to be enjoying this.
Well, you know, I mean, it's that, it's what I love marrying, children's themed things with adult context.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things that everybody loves pop-up books as kids, and a lot of people collect them. This was a way to keep that childhood alive in a sense, but pair it off with something that's a very adult subject.
Right. Tish is up next.
Hi, you got 2 Tishes
Yeah,
today.
I had 2 Tishes in 1/2 hour.
Unusual.
What's your fear or phobia?
Well, I actually have 2. One is water. I'm scared to death of water.
Well, doing what?
Well, oceans, swimming pools.
So being in water.
In the water, like driving over a bridge.
That's hydrophobia is a big one.
Oh, yeah. Bridges. I'm just scared of bridges. I went to Chicago this last week, had to go over the bridge over the Mississippi, just petrified me.
Oh, yeah.
I think it stems from when we were little. We used to walk across some bridge in Des Moines, and my brother would rattle it and say, "Oh, Tishy, it's going to fall in. We're going to drown."
What's your other one, Tish?
Showering after dark.
Really?
Yeah, ever since I watched the movie Psycho,
yes,
I cannot take a shower in dark unless somebody else is in the house with me.
You have your lights on in the bathroom, don't you?
Yeah, but when the shower's running, you can't hear anything.
That movie really, really affected so many people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for phobias, that movie, between that and the movie Jaws, I think more people developed phobias from those 2 things. I think therapy should thank God for those movies.
Thanks for calling WHO, Tish. Scott's up next. Hi, Scott. What's your phobia?
I spent a lot of time on both coasts, and the shark phobia is
shark
is my I'm a swimmer, but getting in water where sharks possibly can be prowling is definitly one of my.
And did the movie Jaws have anything to do with it?
Well, that didn't help any. But the movie came out long after I had my feelings about this.
Now, did you ever encounter a shark?
I came into an area, and the day before, someone had gotten bitten by a shark in the area where I was going to perform. So it was. So
you don't even want to go into the water then?
Well, not very deep.
Right.
I don't mind wading out a little bit, but I don't want to be out there where I can't put my feet on the bottom and get out of the way.
Good.
Now, did you hear that thing about punching the shark in the nose?
No.
No, that's some people say that if you
but you got to see the shark coming.
Thanks, Scott, for calling WHO Radio. Dan is next. Yeah, go ahead. What's your biggest phobia?
Well, many years ago, I come out of a basement, a cellar on the farm, and I was very nearly struck by lightning. And I haven't quite got over it yet. Every time I hear thunder, I jump. You know, it's wearing off now, but it just made me turn white.
So you're kind of petrified whenever a storm comes through.
Yeah.
Do you have any gold fillings?
Bolts. It isn't near as bad as it used to be, but boy, it was for years. I would just jump.
Gary, what did you ask him?
I was asking if he had any gold fillings or metal plates or.
I'm sorry?
He's joking.
I got another fear.
Yeah, what is it?
I got a fear of calling up on
talk shows. Yes. Well, if you listen to Michelson every day, I'd have that fear too. Thanks so much, Dan, for calling. Let's get a couple more calls in real quick. Mary's up next. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
What's your fear?
My fear is flushing toilets.
Oh, come on. Why?
I don't know.
Do you think you're going to get flushed down it or what?
I don't. It just terrifies me. I mean, I have to have the lid closed. I have to have everything ready. I have the door open and ready to run out. I mean, I'll hit the wall trying to get out.
Now, he actually, believe it or not, Mary, in the book, he has a toilet.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh.
It's
well,
really gross looking, too. You can look at gross toilets, but you don't want to flush them.
I don't want to flush it.
Now, do you leave the toilet unflushed in your house?
No.
Oh, so you still flush, but you just have to flush and run.
I have to flush and run.
What do you think is going to happen? It's going to overflow and follow you, or what?
I'm afraid it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just going to pull me. I don't know.
Well, you know, wear a life jacket when you go to the bathroom.
Mary,
yeah.
Mary, I have to give you a book just for that. I'm sorry. That's worth it, just hearing that story. So you hold on, and Dick will get your information, because that's worth one book right there. Andy, what's your phobia? Hi, Andy.
Yeah.
Can you beat that one?
Yeah, there's an old saying, what's worse than biting into an apple and finding a worm is finding half a worm.
Oh.
Well, when I was a kid, my brother gave me a soft yellow apple, and I bit into it and found a whole bunch of worms and spit out a whole bunch of them to boot.
Oh.
So I cannot handle yellow apples anymore.
Yuck. That's a bad picture there, Andy.
And it was even worse to live it.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy, for calling WHO Radio. Well, Gary, you've got other phobias in the book. Dentophobia, that's kind of fun, going to the dentist. You've got a beautiful drill sticking right out at the person.
And the drill rotates, which is
the drill rotates. And also, at the end of the book, you have clowns. Some people are surprised to see that so many people fear clowns. Tell us about that.
Well, it's funny. When I first wrote the book, I remember I had a fear of clowns. I actually had a fear of everything associated with children's birthday parties. I feared the cake. I feared the balloons. I feared the clowns. And I didn't realize that so many people had this phobia, but over time, that's one of the ones that people have commented on it. And when People magazine did something about the book, that was the picture they used, the picture of the clowns. And what I thought was funny was the fact that your parents always tell you to keep away from strangers, yet every birthday party they lock you in the basement with a clown.
Yeah, you know? That's right. Finally, Gary, what should parents do? Now, you have a daughter now. How should parents handle kids' fears?
Well, I would say be a little bit more delicate than showing them this book. and if you do show it, please do not send me the therapy bill.
Right.
I'm not the best person to ask that, but I would say that sort of. Well, I know that like if a kid fears that there's a monster under the bed, what you should not do is hide in the closet wearing a giant monster suit and wait till they go to sleep.
Sure.
I would say what you should do is walk the kid around the room. This is something that I've been reading about. They say that you should walk the kids around the room and show them all the closets are empty and show them nothing is under the bed.
So be more sensitive.
Yeah, be more sensitive.
Don't try to break them by, overdoing it the other way.
Well, they call it exposure therapy, where they sort of desensitize you.
Right.
But I think in a kid's case, that doesn't exactly work.
I mean, for instance, with Mary, who called in, we shouldn't take her to a public restroom and demand that she stay locked in with the flushing toilet, right? That's not good therapy.
And you shouldn't put a snake in that poor woman's mailbox either.
The book is called Pop-Up Book of Phobias by Gary Greenberg. Gary, it's always fun to have you on. Love talking to you.
Thanks so much. You too.
We're going to give away those other 2 copies. Mary already got hers, but also Pat can call back in. Pat's the one who found the snake in the mailbox. She has a mailbox phobia. And then Cecilia, whose daughter has a butterfly phobia because she ran into the van when she was chasing a butterfly. Stay tuned throughout the day to News Radio 1040 WHO.